How is everybody doing today? Hope you're having a wonderful evening. Hope you had a good day. And I just want to come by before bedtime and pass on insight to anybody who wants to make content. This is my perspective, um, how I view things. Making content on a super budget. I don't have an unlimited budget, and I just make it from what I have and the knowledge base that I currently use. Working in IT in over 9, 10 years, I kind of know how things go together. I can kind of look at something and look at it and see how it works. But I really want to talk about if you wanted to start making content today, 2024, September, what are some of the things that you need at a bare minimum to make content? What I could say is I started out. Let me go to my slides real quick. Let me get this out the way. So let's talk about equipment, right? Equipment. You have I use Sony, some people use Canon, mirrorless, DSLR, probably more mirrorless now. I use a Sony A6400. I think I bought it for a couple years ago for about $1,200. Like I only been doing content for 2 years, and we're gonna get to the flow and everything here in a second. But mirrorless camera, lens. I'm not too big. You can get the most expensive lens if you want. I'm just using the kit lens. I found a deal on another camera on eBay, but because I'm tech savvy, I kind of know what if I need to find a deal on something, I know where to look and what to think about. But if you don't know, and if you're afraid of getting ripped off, go to the Best Buy. Go to I think it's BNR over there off of Rodney Parham. They have, I think that's where I got the camera from. They have a bunch of options there, people that can help you, or you can go to Amazon probably. But if you want good quality, you want to get at least a mirrorless camera, and I think you can get the Sony ZVE1. I think that's what it's called. You get one of those for under $1,000 easy. Like now, I think you get one of those for like about 700. And if you looked around used, you probably could get one for less than that, like a used Sony or something like that. But definitely get you a mirrorless camera. Make a difference. Equipment, the mixer, the sound, audio. You can use a USB mic, but if you're using a Sony, you're gonna need a mixer to process the sound. So when you go to edit, you can either sync the two together, or you can do like I do. I'm gonna show you something real quick. This is what you call an XLR cable. It has three prongs in it. I might not even be close enough to see. It has three prongs in it, and three prongs for the chicken. And this is actual a lapel mic. I use this sometimes, but I don't use it a whole lot because it picks up the whole room. It don't cancel out the sound. And then this room is not like super sound treated. But XLR mic, lapel mic, or a mic like this, or XLR mic, and you run it. This is what you call a digital mixer. That's why I got on the screen too. This is called a Zoom L6, I think. Oh, Zoom L8 has 8 channels. That means that you can put up to 6 mics and 2 line ins, like a cell phone for audio, or something like that. And guess what? This mixer can run off a battery pack. So when you see, well, me and Jay, we was out downtown recording. We mostly was running on this battery pack, and then this cable, think goes into a camera TRS to like a regular 3.5. Can go into the camera from the main audio source, goes into the camera, Now when you record on the camera, you got clean audio, and that's what you need. I think this was about. I think you probably get one of these for maybe $400 now, between 400 to 700, something like that. But definitely, this can change the game for your audio as well. Because USB mics sometimes, when they get older, we're gonna talk about that too, versus quality versus cost. When they get older, things get a little glitchy. They have a feedback based on the USB kind of wearing out. So I would definitely recommend getting a mixer. You don't have to get an 8 channel mixer. You can get like a 2 channel, like a what they call those things, Focus, right? Or I forgot what they call them, but you can get like a 2 channel mixer, audio interface, anything that you can put an XLR in and run the audio out to like a camera. Or all what I use in the studio is I use a Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro, which is like a video switcher, and you can run audio into it. And I have a main mixer as well. So when you have a video mixer, but like this ATEM, this Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro, you run that into your computer, and it acts as a webcam, but it has the audio and the computer running into the audio and the camera running into it. And now we're gonna get into software and stuff. It makes it a little easier to run the software in order to make your content as well. And on the far right or your far left, that is a cinema camera. That's if you got the unlimited budget and you bout it. You can do whatever you want. A lot of people that you see those high-end podcasts, they're probably using cinema cameras. And think about this. You look at a podcast like a Joe Budden or, Brilliant Idiots, those high-end. They may have 4 or 5 cameras, a wide shot, 2 cameras to get the individual angle, and then other cameras for miscellaneous stuff. And those cameras could cost $5,000 a piece, if not more. So that could be $20,000 in just cameras if you really want to go there to climb the mountaintop of making content. So that's something to think about. Now let's talk about this: cost versus quality. Cost versus quality. The more you spend, the better quality that you get. The less you spend, the lower quality that you get. Now, when you have a studio or a place where stuff don't move around as much, you don't have to, you can leave stuff where it is. Sometimes when you're just starting, you can buy things at a lower cost because you're trying to get to a certain point. And then when you get to that certain point, that's when you up your quality by paying a little bit more for the things that you use frequently. Especially when you're mobile and you're moving around, you're pulling cables out, plugging cables in. That does a lot of wear and tear, especially on low quality items. So something to think about. You can start out low cost, but don't stay low cost. You got to think about that. Or it's going to come back and bite you. I'm telling you from experience. It will come back and bite you. So cost versus quality. If something costs, like this Sony, costs, I think it's when I bought it was like $1,200. I've been using it for a couple of years, haven't had a problem with it. I can take pictures if I need to, but I'm more of a video person. And I can, we shot outside downtown, shooting the studio. Just been doing different things with making the content. Vlogging is a little bit different because the camera's a little heavy. Thinking about getting a pocket, what's he call those? The Osmo Pocket, DJI Pocket camera or something like that, maybe. But when you don't have any sponsors, like I don't have any sponsors, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm just telling you the setup that I use and what I use to make content. And right now, I'm at that low cost to mid kind of range. But as I get more time on my hands to make more content and be more consistent, and I will be more, if you hit the subscribe button, help me grow. Because I got 2 channels. I got this channel, my Mike Flair channel. This is my personal channel. And then I have another channel called CTM TV, Corp, C-O-R-P, Tech, T-E-C-H, Media. We do a podcast. I do sports, talk about those things on there. This channel is just more my personal stuff I just make on my own personal mission, which is to give insight to the youth and share my story about working in IT, um, share my story about clothes I buy, like reviews, because one thing about tall people, I'm 6'5". It's hard for us to find things in the store. Most of we have to buy it online. But sometimes you got to be careful about buying stuff online because sometimes it can be a ripoff as well. So with that being said, let us get into some more slides. But remember that, cost versus quality. So, learning curve, camera, and audio. There in this Sony I have, there are a bunch of settings that you can use or you can mess around with. You can either learn on your own manually, or there are people out there who have made templates and spreadsheets for different settings for different scenarios, and you can buy for $5 or $10. And I can tell you that it's worth it if you don't want to sit there and really learn the camera, because a lot of times you don't have a lot of time as a regular person to really just like, you know what, I'm gonna take a day to learn this Sony camera, because you may have to work, then you get off, make content, then go to bed. That's what I do anyway. But camera settings is a learning curve to learn it. And most people buy a camera system and they kind of stick with that. Me, I'm Sony. I haven't, Canon is good too, but that's what I started out with Sony. Audio, learning how to get audio when it's not clipping, learning how to get audio to where you remember to turn it on. I forgot to turn audio on a couple times. Coming here tired, trying to be consistent, forget to hit a button, forget to do audio, record video, but no audio. So the learning curve is the flow of using that camera and using audio, whether it's a mixer or whether it's a USB mic, whatever you choose, but you got to understand the flow of that. It's a learning curve involved. The next one is PC or Mac. Me personally, I can use either or. It don't matter. But I think in the long run, what I would say is a PC can be more modular. You can make it last longer if you got the know-how. A Mac, a lot of times the newer Macs that come out now, you have to pick everything before you buy it, and there's no room for modularity. And after, I would say about maybe 7 to 8 years, it can become obsolete, because a lot of the software, a lot of the applications that they make for Mac, they only work on certain operating systems. So what you'll run into is you'll have an older Mac Mini, older Mac. Let's say if you got a Mac 2017, some of the apps that you will download you can't use because of the OS that you have, maybe like 10.13. This app doesn't work on Mac OS 10.13. You have to upgrade to a newer version. Well, if you have an older Mac, you can't upgrade to the newer version because it won't take it. Now you have the choice that you have to make. You either got to upgrade to a newer Mac, or you have to find you another computer to run your software on. So just something to think about, especially with Adobe. It will tell you in a minute that this software does not work on this version of Mac OS. And if you mess around and upgrade, it may not let you go back all the time and go back down to the newer version, the older version of Adobe. So that's something you got to watch out for too. A PC is more modular. You can literally start out on a PC with just a PC, RAM, and a hard drive. And then you can add a video card or audio card. You can go from regular hard drives to NVMe hard drives. So many things you can do with a PC that you can't do with a Mac. You have to be careful about. But if you're one of those people that don't like tinkering and adding and upgrading stuff, a Mac is probably for you. It's just going to cost more. Remember, cost versus quality. It's going to cost more. But it's going to work solid for those 5 to 7 years. And after that, you're going to have to think about upgrading to a newer Mac. And that's just how the game go. PC, You can stretch it out a little bit longer than 7 years based on whatever the processor that you have, but you can put a video card in it, an audio card in it, and you can stretch it out a little bit longer. The next one is editing and uploading. Editing can be one of the most daunting tasks. It's not hard, but it's just being consistent and repetitious on how your workflow is when you edit. You have to have the right machine, whether it's PC or Mac. You have to have at least 30 gigs of RAM if you want to do it without it freezing up, without it hosing up your computer, and you can have multiple windows open and edit at the same time. But the thing about editing is the more layers you have, the more you have in it, the longer it takes to render. And if you don't have enough RAM, it's going to take longer to render in order to turn it to an MP4, in order for you to upload it. The next thing about making content is uploading. Whether you have, let's say you have a Facebook account, you have a YouTube account, Instagram account, TikTok account, and a Twitter account. That's 5 accounts. You want to make content, you want to be consistent, you have to upload to those 5 different places, not including any other place that you use, whether it's Snapchat, other places too. But those core 5, you got to upload to those 5 places. You make one video, you got to upload it to 5. And the trick is, from what I'm seeing, is if you can make something that can be used on all platforms, you can make one video or clips, and they can be used on everything. You don't have to customize the clip for each platform. It sounds like a lot, but it's really just repetition and work and finding a workflow. So you think about YouTube, you think about Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Twitter. Can you make a video that's a minute long and you can post on all 5? You got to think about those things. When you make content, can I make something that I can clip it into 1 minute? So, not because YouTube has a limit of 1 minute. I think Facebook Reels have a limit of 1 minute for regular accounts. Like I said, we're going to talk about that here later too. I don't do the special boosting and all that stuff, man. I don't have the money for that. And even if I did, I probably still wouldn't do it. But that's just me. But always remember there's a learning curve when you take on something new. Fortunately for me, I work in IT, so I kind of, like I said, I know how things work. So they kind of shorten my learning curve. Still learning, but it's a shorter learning curve. The next thing is organic growth. Organic growth. To grow organically, it takes time. When you start a channel, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, all those things, you start a channel and you start with 0 followers or 0 subscribers. You have to grow your subscribers. You have to post. You have to try to get people to engage. But you have to remember, it's like dropping you into a big pond of fish that's already in the pond. How do you stand out in a pond full of fish and you just got dropped into that pond? You got to look at it from that standpoint. Time investment. It takes time to make content. It takes time to craft up things to make content. It takes time to be consistent. You have to give up something. Look at it this way. In life, there's a pie, 100% pie. And you have to divide that up, whether it's family, whether it's church or job, personal improvement, whether it's school, education. You have to divvy that up, and you have to find that time investment that you can use to make content consistently. I'm trying to be more consistent But let me tell you, we're going to talk about the patience aspect of it. Like I said, I'm not a perfectionist. I don't mind learning on the fly. I'm not here to go viral. I'm not here to spread negativity. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to really increase thinking, increase the logical side of a person, because I'm more of a logical person than emotional. And trying to tap into the logical side of a person, get you to understand that the logic, you can program or change your logic of how you think. And that's kind of how I roll. Level of sacrifice. You're going to sacrifice a lot of your free time to make content if you want to do that. You got to understand, to be consistent, it's going to cost you something to be consistent. You're going to sacrifice time somewhere else in order to make time to make more content. You may sacrifice sleep. I got to thank my wife. I got to thank my kids. They give me a couple hours to make content before I go to bed. Because right now, I'm going to working full time. I'm going to school full time. And then making content. Definitely not the easiest thing, but it can be done. Now, the patience part of it. Some people go viral. Going viral can be dangerous, because if you go viral real fast and you don't have things to keep it going, to ride that wave, you'll be like up and down, up and down, up and down. But you want to be steady though, steady. Because if you go viral, you spike and then you come back down, you could lose out. But you want to go steady and grow a little bit at a time, little bit at a time. You want to build a community, whatever community that is, whether you build a community in healthcare, community in education. My thing is, I'm real big on self-improvement, individuality. How do you improve as an individual? Because when you improve, everything else around you improve. So what community do you want to build? And that takes time as well. It's a patience thing. Because like I said, people have to find you. You have to put yourself out there, put your ideas out there, find people that connect with those ideas, then you build a community. And then you have shortcuts. Be careful with the shortcuts. Some people, what I'm seeing is they go buy followers, which is crazy, because if you go buy followers and somebody come to your page, you say you got 10,000 followers, but you only have 10 people looking at your videos, they look kind of weird. So you got to be careful about that. Some people like to boost their posts. Hey, nothing wrong with that. They making ads like on Facebook. Twitter, I think Twitter having where you can boost it. Some people buy their verification. I'm not doing that either. I'm not buying it. I don't see the need in that. I'm not that big on social media like that. And even like on Instagram, they boost their post, and like it's kind of like you paying it to push it out to people instead of just doing it organically. You just got to have patience, but not everybody has that kind of patience, So you got to have patience. You got to realize that before you start making content, because it can be a daunting task when you're not growing. You feel like you're not growing, but you really are. You just have to stay consistent and keep going. So my last point is, let's build a community. Let's share experiences. Let's gain insight, and let's grow. Engage with our content. Help us grow. What would you like to hear us talk about? Or what would you like to hear me talk about on this channel? Let's grow a community. Let's grow a community about self-improvement. Let's grow a community about how we can help our youth have the advantage that we didn't have when we was younger. Let's get them to understand about the adult life. Let's build that community where we can reach back and help our youth that want to be helped. If you want to learn more about the making content of a specific thing, let me know. And also, if you like to learn about how to make the sound effects, let me know. I think I kind of got a way of making it without having to have a sound pad. Like I got a sound pad. My wife bought me. Love my wife. She bought me this for Christmas. Thank her for that. Do my little sound pad. But there's other things you got to set up before you use the sound pad. Let me know if you want to learn about that. We can definitely make a video on that too. But I really wanted to make a video to people that want to start on the budget and let you know that you can. But you just got to know what to look for. Remember cost and quality. Remember the learning curve. Organic growth. You got to be patient. And hey, let's grow together. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Anything you would like me to expound on, let me know. We can talk about it because I'm a budget guy. I got 2 lights of Amazon. I think they were budget lights. What's the name of it? Let me see. LOMTAP. I think these lights were probably maybe 20 or 30 bucks or something like that. But they have a remote. The only thing I don't like when we talk about cost versus quality about these lights is there's a fan in the back of the lights and they make this buzzing noise when they run for a long time. Eventually, I would love to get some real LED lights that don't have a fan. They're fanless lights or something like that where they're just real quiet. That helps with your sound quality and I can wear like a lapel mic. If anybody want to sponsor me, they can send me some lights to review. I need to start doing more reviews on equipment too. This mic is called a Fifine mic. I think it's Fifine. Fine. I can't afford an SM7B. I can't afford $300, $400 for a mic. So this is the mic that I use. I think it was like 40 bucks. And you're listening to it live. Let me know how it sound. It's running through a mixer. Now, this is kind of like the SM7B mic because you got to be close to it for it to get sound. So I don't have a cloud lifter, but I do have it up on my I got a good level on my mixer, but it is up really high. But if you got one of these probably with a cloud lifter or a signal booster, it'll be just as probably as good as a SM7B. So, but this is Mike. I'm signing out. Let's build a community. Let's talk about this making content. I'm trying to grow this channel, Mike Flair channel, my other channel, CTM TV. Make sure you check it out. This is Mike. I'm signing out. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you later. Have a great night.